December. As of the projection for the 30th of December is 682. In people that I've spoken with, there's an estimated number of 500 of those at Stafford Creek, and that number, give or take, probably 100. But if you want to take those numbers out of there, it does get us to a point that is closer to the metric laid out by the state.
And it's really hard to tell, right? I mean, it's a guesstimate.
Yeah, it's impossible to tell unless the county decided to take those numbers out, which they have, to this point, not decided to do.
It's pretty clear when you look at the map that 98520, the zip code where Stafford Creek is located, their numbers have been skyrocketing every time the county puts that map out. DOC is reporting a total of 900 cases at Stafford Creek. And I think Montesano, or 98563, was 135 since the beginning of the pandemic. So going off of what we've seen at Elma with the success they've been having, I'm in favor of just sticking to the plan that we laid out. I don't see any reason to change that.
Oh my.
I have some concerns. I mean, was the plan to bring back, remind me, was it to bring back both the high school students too?
It was K through 6 on January 11, and then Dan wanted the junior high and high school to come back on February 1 because it was the beginning of a new term.
Okay.
So that passed.
Yeah, that's what the board passed.
Okay, because I'm bringing the high school back February 1st is, I agree with that. The numbers are still pretty high, so I do have concerns. I'm not, K through 6 is perhaps more manageable to bring people back. And, when you look at those numbers, you got to look at the whole county too, because we're all connected. Even Stafford Creek, I know quite a few people who live in Montesano who actually work there. So,
we also have quite a few people that live in Montesano and work at the hospital and have been going to work every day and dealing with COVID patients every day.
Right.
They're fine.
Right.
I mean, we've been dealing with this at my house since March, so I really think we can't let what's going on at Stafford Creek influence our decision. I think we've made a good decision, and I'm pushing that we stick to what we adopted last month, and we start K through 6 January 11th.
Okay.
Correct.
Is there any, go ahead.
I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with the decision, but I do foresee a roadblock maybe is our MOU with the teachers union states that we will not go back until our numbers meet the metric. And I really believe that we need to honor that agreement. And we are not meeting the metric according to the state. Because of Stafford Creek's numbers, if you take those out, then yes, we do meet the metric, I believe, from what I've looked at. So I want to make sure that we are honoring that agreement with the teachers union. They've been really, really helpful in making, we're all working together really well. And I want to make sure that we are honoring that agreement.
Let them vote on it.
No, I'm fine if the teachers want to vote on it and all of that. I'm just saying that is a potential roadblock because technically we are not under the metric where we said we had to be to go back. That's all. But I'm for the plan. I'm just saying that is a potential
Right.
roadblock that we need to take into consideration, and we need to make sure that we are honoring our agreements with the teachers union.
I think Tiffany brings up a good point. I mean, at least communicating with the union regarding the MOU and the conditions that we face now with the numbers in Stafford Creek and such, it may make things a lot smoother and avoid, things down the road if, if we do go back and the teachers say you're not abiding by the agreement.
But we have to make that decision to direct. What I don't want to have happen is for us to say, okay, let's check with the union and see what their thoughts are, and then we have to call another special meeting. And I would rather direct Dan to say, as a board, we would like to stick to the plan and have him work with the union to come. And if they're not willing, they're not willing. And I understand that, but they get to vote just like the five of us
Sure.
get to vote. So
Sure.
So
I
I'll
just
just
think
say
there's-
that there's comments coming in the chat where obviously people are not willing to make a phone call or an email to me to make these comments, but they're making claims that teachers are not willing to come back. And I just want to say, as I've said before, that is not true. Teachers want kids back. They want them back safely. This is not about teachers trying to block anything. This is about trying to figure out how to get it done as safely as we can for staff and students. So the comments about that you're hearing that teachers don't want to come back are completely false. So you can put an end to that right now.
And I didn't bring this up because I feel like the union is a roadblock. I'm just pointing out that we are not going to honor our agreement if we try. I just was pointing out that there is a potential roadblock because technically the MOU states that until we meet the state metric, we can't go back. So, but I wasn't saying that because I think teachers are pushing that at all. I just wanted to point out that we do have a potential roadblock.
And I'm not talking about you, Tiffany, but I would like to choose a word other than roadblock because I think it's not necessarily a roadblock. It's an agreement that we have that we need to honor, we need to work through with them, and I have had many conversations with their leadership, and we will continue to do so, and we'll get through it. But I think the thing for tonight, before any of that can happen, is a decision needs to be made on the motion that was approved at the last meeting, and then we go forward from there.
So do you need us to take action again tonight to affirm that decision?
Yes.
Okay, I'd make that motion.
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
It's been approved to solidify what we approved last month.
Okay, so just to clarify, we'll be starting case 6 on Monday, pending further discussions with the MEA, which we will make sure that we do our due diligence there. The one thing that people need to understand is that transportation is going to be limited for a variety of reasons. So the walk zone that is generally at a certain point will be pushed back farther. It is going to be very difficult for us to transport. That's why the question on the survey that went out talked about, would you be able to transport your student? And I think that in order to make this work, we all have to make sacrifices, and some of those sacrifices may be trying to figure out transportation, whether it's via carpooling or what. We will try to transport as many as we can, and there will be information coming out from transportation this week, and we'll go from there. But it is going to be a challenge. We need everybody's patience in terms of drop-off and pickup because it's going to be very slow at the beginning, particularly at Beacon for those kindergarten families that are going for the first time. This is their first experience with school. We're going to take it very slow with them so that everybody's comfortable. And again, we just ask for your patience as we move forward with this.
Thank you. So do we need to do anything for junior, senior high school?
was
just
part, and wasn't
that's
it?
part of it? Okay, right. I just feel like we're kind of going over the same stuff. I just want to make sure where we're sticking with what we're needing to do here tonight. So,
I mean, the tentative date for the junior senior high is February 1st. And if we get to the board meeting at the end of January and the numbers have tripled, or we have had some issues at Beacon or Simpson, we will reevaluate at that time, which we will do for the rest of the year, depending on what happens. But as of right now, that is the plan. Those are our target dates, and we're going to move forward.
okay. So where were we at with informing families about this? Are there letters going home or emails or something?
In terms of when school's going to start,
Yeah.
we will send communication out this week on a variety of things, including pickup, drop-off, transportation, all of those little tidbits that we sometimes don't think about.
Okay. I know that we've got a staffing issue with the bus drivers. What's it going to look like for students on the bus? Can you kind of draw me a picture?
Those guidelines, like everything else, are changing, and so I don't want to misspeak on those, but when we send the information out this week, that information will be included.
Okay. I just hate to see only like 6 kids on the bus, which that's all I have pictured in my mind. So thank you, Dan. I'll wait for that to come out. Okay, so we've covered what we need to cover. Is there anything else that you want to talk about, Dan?
Nope.
Or anybody else? Okay. Then we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Sorry, need to unmute. Anybody who made comments in the chat and you feel like you need an answer, please don't hesitate to send your email to community@myschools.org. It's a great way for us to respond to you and answer your questions. Very last one I was looking at here, when we'll decide if we're doing an AB, A1, 2B, 1 schedule. We are on a split schedule. There will be a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday schedule.